Hello and welcome to this week's episodes of The Calling. Follow your spirit all the way in. I'm your host, Homaya. Join me in this journey of self-awareness, soul frequencies, and spiritual revelations. Let's fly. Good morning, beauty. It is good morning for me. The last few days were quite intense physically. You might hear my throat a little bit more rough, as it is part of the healing process that I'm going through. And so I'm really recording this today in a very deep inner state. You might hear the dogs barking and the birds. You might hear me sipping my ginger tea. But I feel that it activates a very important conversation that I want to bring into our space as us when we're following the calling of our heart, of our soul, and deciding whether it was a mental decision to become a better person or we were just activated to see the world differently. And so there are situations and there are places and moments where things might become challenging for us. We go through heartbreak, or we go through disappointment, or we feel that we're not pulling it through, or maybe we're just seeing the people around us and it feels that something is not that great. We look at the world, we look at, friends or families or people that we know, and it feels like it's not going to the good direction. It doesn't look amazing. And in the last episodes, I was sharing with you the questions that I've been asking myself from time to time when I'm arriving to a place where, I don't know how to move forward. I cannot bring more light. I also want to speak deeper into not only when we want to bring light, but sometimes this feeling of being overwhelmed by how we look outside and it feels corrupted. We look outside and it feels broken. We might lose hope. We might feel ourselves, hopeless and helpless. So we don't know. It's like it's too hard. It doesn't look that it's going to the right direction. I mean, like my strongest medicine around it is to keep on doing the healing and light work for myself and for others. Honestly, many times it calms me down because I find those moments sacred, and I found those moments as holy, like we're all together doing this work of light. This is why I teach so much, and this is why I'm putting myself more and more and more in places that hold that light. And I took on myself this experience of leading with it. This is why I also say in so many situations that the world is begging for healing. And of course, there's a level of distortion in terms of where we have led ourselves, right? Because I do not believe that we were designed to accumulate that level of information that we accumulate every day. I am not sure that our nervous system was designed to know so much. what is happening in Russia, what is happening in the Middle East, what is happening in South America, what is happening in too many, what is happening with that person, what is happening with that person, how that person is living her life or his life, etc., etc. It's like there's too much information and our mind is in panic, we can say. So you might say that this is, like FOMO. Yes. And it could be that this is ego activation, ego in the sense of protection. The ego wants to know in order to learn how to protect. And if there's a piece of information, then the mind will scan that information to understand where we are, understand what we're doing, understand what is the current situation in order to protect, in order to keep us safe. I don't want to go in this conversation today to why, but I want to go into what we're doing with it. Because there is a lot of information that impact us and we're completely unaware. We're unaware. There are tectonic motions and there are solar flares and solar eruptions that influence each and every one of us. There is an overall frequency and presence that influence each and every one of us. So yes, we can say, oh, here are the changes in the planetary changes that are happening. Here are we can be sometimes aware of the Schumann resonance and the solar flares and some tectonic motions. We might be aware to a certain extent, but not always, not all the time. And even when we are aware of it, it is so easily becoming another piece of information next to what is actually going on the physical plane for us. What is happening to my body? What is happening to my country? What is happening to my parents? What is happening? This is where I've been in the last few days. And I'm sure that you had your own version of it. And I don't know when you're going to listen to that. It could be that you will be drawn to listen to this specific episode when you really would need that. Spirit guide will tell you, oh, here is an episode for you. Why don't you listen to it? So what is happening is that when something goes into a certain distortion, which is different than our casual distortion, which let us all also be aware that our casual distortions that we're dealing with on a daily basis is quite intense. It's almost like war became a norm. And social media interfere became a norm, which means that at a certain point, we will be relaxed in a war. It will feel like home. We will be relaxed in a drama. It will feel like home. We will be relaxed in intensity. It will feel like home. And again, when there will be a jump in it, there will be a jump in intensity, we will try to explain ourselves what is happening. The mind will try to explain what is happening. And one of the things in trying to explain ourselves and the need even to have a mental explanation is actually coming rooted in the need to be right. I need to know, and I need to take a stand, and I need to identify, and I need to protect. This is like an energetic sequence that is being activated in our mental perception. If there's a drama, if there's a problem, if there's a war, if there's sickness or illness, I need to create a solution and find a solution. This is what the mind will say immediately, fast, find a solution, take a stand. And you can even use, spiritual words to find a solution. Oh, I'm going to shift the timeline. I'm going to resolve it in activating something from parallel universe. And then you harness your spirituality for the sake of your identity. Holding the uncomfortability of not taking a stand and not trying to resolve, holding the uncomfortability of not reacting demands a certain force. And that force is a strong blessing, because that force will force you to stay in your heart and to feel and to be the medicine, the full, the truth, the highest possible medicine. And I invite you to listen to it beyond my words, because the mind can easily just ignore and say, oh, yes, go into the heart. Then it's going to be another mental achievement. Oh, let's come down and come to my heart with power. Let's do that with force. But this is not the invitation. The invitation is to deal with it, to be present, to seek for those frequencies of the heart, to seek for those frequencies of truth, to seek for those frequencies of the highest medicine, and to allow those frequencies in whatever degree possible to alchemize the situation. We're so connected to everything. There will be no end to the information of why something started. If it is a mental history of a distortion, if it is a physical injury, as I said, if it is tectonic motions or solar flares or the Schumann resonance or the location of the planets, there could be so many reasons and so many explanations of why all of that is happening, everything in your life, and especially when it is distorted. You can go deeper in the rabbit hole of explaining to yourself why that is happening. Or you can go deeper into your heart and become the medicine. Because the unmental reason why all of those distortions are happening is to create more and more opportunities for ourselves to remember who we are, to come and bring light, to really be a light activator, to really be present as an extension of the divine and bring light. We can get so easily confused with not taking a stand or not trying to resolve something with something. I should focus. Well, if I'm taking a stand, then I should focus on who's right. And if I try to resolve, I need to look outside and see what is not working. But if you choose not to take a stand, if you choose not to start to fix it, but rather tend to it, what you will be experiencing is releasing yourself from a victim consciousness. And the work of focusing inside is not focusing on the ego. It's really becoming aware that I'm not focusing inward because I'm focusing on myself. Because then again, I'm activating the need of identifying and protecting, but tending inward, using and applying the power of awareness, sharing and activating the light of awareness, which is the greatest power that we have. Then most likely what we will meet is in the purity of our heart is the frequency of love, to whatever degree we're able to feel that at the moment that we meet it. What will happen in your life if, when you look inside and you start to put attention inward in the chaos, and you wouldn't search for protection, rather you allow yourself to meet what is always waiting for you inside. And that precious connection, and I hope that you're feeling the frequency as I'm speaking of it and bringing it here, speaking it. That precious connection is what is needed. Going beyond negativity, going beyond right or wrong, going beyond left or right, going beyond this or the other, raising the awareness, raising the vibration, raising the frequency, raising the experienced truth. And then from you, it will be to you, through you, to the whole. Thank you.
Thank you for listening and being part of this great conversation. You will find all the relevant links in the show notes, as well as a link to a meditation for you to feel more connected to your spirit and aligned with your soul contract. Please, if this episode touched you, leave a review, like, and subscribe. Feel comfortable to share it with your friends, family, and colleagues, because everyone has a calling.